a cry for understanding. You don't excuse it, but you understand it. And in understanding, you find compassion. Compassion, you learn, is not weakness. It is the deepest form of wisdom, because only those who have suffered deeply can love deeply. You begin to live with open hands, letting life flow through you, not around you. No grasping, no clutching, just flow. The Stoics spoke of living according to nature. Not the trees and rivers, but the nature of things. To accept what is, to align with it, to work with the current, not against it. You start to see life like water, soft enough to yield, strong enough to carve stone. That is mastery. You are no longer chasing greatness. You are practicing goodness. You are no longer seeking immortality. You are cultivating presence. And somehow, that feels infinite. You understand now that happiness cannot be hunted. It arrives when you stop running. It blooms when gratitude becomes your default state. You thank the morning for light. You thank the night for rest. You thank the past for its lessons. You thank the present for its breath. You even thank the pain for revealing the power that lay dormant in you. You are no longer afraid of endings, because every ending has shown you that what is truly yours cannot be lost. The sun dips again. You walk beneath its golden fade, the air thick with the scent of change. You feel the quiet pulse of the universe, the same pulse within your chest. And you realize you are no longer a spectator of life. You are life itself, aware of its own unfolding. Marcus Aurelius said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to love." So you do. And in that simple awareness, everything becomes sacred. The ordinary turns divine. The mundane becomes miraculous, because you are seeing it clearly, without the fog of desire or fear. This is what it means to live freely, to stand unshaken, to meet fate with open eyes. You walk toward the horizon, and you know you will not find peace there, because peace was never a destination. It was the way you learned to walk. And as the last light fades, you whisper to yourself, steady, strong, timeless, I am ready for whatever comes. There's a quiet majesty to those who have suffered and survived. You see it in old eyes, in weathered hands, in hearts that still choose love after being broken. You carry that same majesty now, not as a crown, but as a calmness that cannot be taken. The world tries to pull you back, into noise, into comparison, into fear. But you no longer take the bait. You know the truth now. Everything external is fleeting. Everything internal is eternal. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." And bravery, you've learned, is not the absence of fear. It is the refusal to obey it. You wake each day and meet your fears at the door. You greet them with a nod. You let them walk beside you. And in doing so, you discover they are not monsters. They are messengers. Every fear shows you where your growth waits. Every pain points to the wound that still seeks light. Every doubt reveals where faith must rise. You start to see that mastery is not about perfection. It is about presence, about showing up fully, especially when you'd rather hide. There are moments when the old self returns, impatient, defensive, fragile. You don't fight it anymore. You smile, because even regression is part of progress. Even backsteps teach balance. You have become your own teacher, your own student, your own healer. You are no longer waiting to be rescued, no longer waiting for the world to soften. You have built the strength to meet it as it is, and still remain kind. You start sharing your calm with others, not by preaching, but by living. Your stillness becomes contagious. Your patience becomes a quiet revolution, because peace, when embodied, invites others to remember their own. You look around, and for the first time, you see humanity not as broken, but as becoming. Every lost soul is a seeker in disguise. Every cruel act. Morning again, the same world, the same sun, but everything feels new. Not because the world has changed, but because you have. You rise slowly, no rush, no noise. You move with intention now, each motion a quiet prayer to existence itself. There was a time you lived half awake, always escaping the moment, always waiting for something more. But you have seen too much now to live unconsciously. You have tasted stillness. You have met yourself. And once that happens, you can never return to sleep. You no longer chase the sunrise. You become it. There is a rhythm inside you now, a calm pulse that doesn't depend on circumstance. It is the rhythm of mastery. You begin to realize the mind, when trained, is the most powerful ally a human can have. You learn to guide it gently, like a wild horse that finally trusts the reins. It no longer drags you through storms. It walks beside you in silence. You think of Epictetus again. No man is free who is not master of himself. These words used to sound like philosophy. Now they are your reality. Mastery is not about control. It is about understanding. You understand your anger, so it no longer consumes you. You understand your fear, so it no longer rules you. You understand your desires, so they no longer chain you. You've learned that you cannot command the world, but you can command your response to it. And in that space between stimulus and reaction, there lies your freedom. You start living deliberately. You choose silence over noise, patience over impulse, clarity over chaos. People ask you, why don't you react? And you smile. Because they don't see that peace itself is a reaction, a conscious one. You remember the Stoic image of the archer? He can control his aim, his form, his focus, but not the wind, not the target's motion, not the outcome. His duty is the effort, not the result. You live like that now, doing your part, letting go of the rest. When success comes, you bow. When failure comes, you bow deeper, because both are teachers, and both eventually leave. You used to crave recognition. Now you crave alignment. You used to measure your worth by applause. Now by integrity. You used to fight the inevitable. Now you walk with it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together." So you do. You stop questioning why life unfolded this way. You begin to see the pattern. Every person, every loss, every delay was the sculptor's chisel. And you, the marble, being shaped towards something eternal. You stand now where pain once lived. And in its place, there is strength, not the loud kind, the steady kind, the kind that watches storms pass without trembling. You no longer argue with reality. You've learned the futility of resistance. What is, and what isn't, never was yours to keep. So you walk lighter. You forgive more quickly. You speak less. But when you speak, your words carry weight. You no longer demand that others understand you. You understand yourself, and that is enough. Is only half a soul. The day grows long. Shadows stretch across the ground. You sit quietly and watch the light fade. A reminder that everything has its time, and you too will fade one day. The body will rest. The voice will quiet. The world will move on. But something of you, the peace you found, the calm you shared, the love you gave, will remain. Because true strength leaves echoes, and your calm will ripple through others, like sunlight through leaves. The Stoics called this acceptance amor fati, to love one's fate, not merely to endure it, but to embrace it, to see every turn of the wheel as part of the greater design. You look at your life, every joy, every pain, every mistake, and whisper, yes, this too was meant for me. In that whisper is freedom. In that surrender is peace. You have learned the art of balance. You are neither numb nor fragile. You feel deeply, but you do not drown. You love fully, but you do not cling. You move forward, but you do not chase. You have become what you once sought. A still soul in a restless world. You rise once more before sleep. You look at your reflection. The same eyes, but not the same person. There's something timeless there now, something unshakable. You smile softly, because you know you have walked through fire and returned with light. Tomorrow will bring new storms, new challenges, new lessons. But now, you will not fear them, because you've learned the greatest truth of all. Peace is not found at the end of the journey. It's found in every step you take, with awareness, with acceptance, with love. And so you close your eyes, not to escape the world, but to rest within it. The breath slows, the body softens, and in the deep quiet of your being, you hear a voice, steady, ancient, and clear. Everything you need is already within you. And this time, you believe it. The old fears return sometimes. The old memories whisper. But you are no longer the same listener. You meet them with patience. You remind them, I am not you anymore. You begin to see the beauty in impermanence. Nothing lasts, and that's why it matters. Every breath, every sunrise, every heartbeat is a miracle disguised as routine. You start to understand the Stoic truth. Nothing truly belongs to you. Not people, not moments, not even your body. Everything is borrowed, everything returns. And that realization no longer frightens you. It frees you. You love more deeply now, because you know it will end. You give more freely, Because you know you cannot keep. You live more honestly, because time no longer feels endless. Epictetus said, "Don't seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for things to happen as they do, and your life will flow well." And that is what you've learned. To flow. To trust that life's rhythm, though mysterious, is wise. There are still days of grief, days of confusion, days where the old ache returns like a ghost. But now you greet it as an old friend. You've stopped asking, "Why me?" and started asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" Every struggle becomes a lesson. Every heartbreak becomes an awakening. Every ending becomes a rebirth. You look back on your past, the chaos, the pain, the mistakes, and you feel gratitude, not because they were easy, but because they made you see you wouldn't trade your scars now. They're proof you lived deeply. Proof that you did not turn away from life, even when it burned. You begin to see that wisdom is not learned. It's lived. It grows in silence, in failure, in solitude. It comes when you stop performing and start being. You used to be afraid of being alone. Now solitude feels sacred. You sit in it like a temple. No noise, no distraction, just the hum of your own existence. You realize this is what peace feels like. Not the absence of struggle, but the presence of stillness. It's not that the world became lighter, it's that you became stronger. You grew roots where there was only rock. You built calmness in the heart of chaos. And that calmness, that inner fortress, no one can take from you. You watch people rush, argue, chase, suffer, and you wish you could whisper to them, "Slow down, you already have everything you're looking for." But you know, each must learn in their own way. Each must walk through their own fire. You just walk quietly now. You don't need to prove anything. Your peace speaks louder than words. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." You understand now. The real tragedy is not death, but forgetting to live before it comes. So you live differently. You love in the present tense. You give without keeping score. You speak truth even when your voice shakes. You no longer hide your tenderness. You wear it like armor. Because strength without softness, you wake again before the world stirs. The sky is still, half asleep, half dreaming. And you sit in the hush between night and day, where everything feels possible, and nothing demands your attention. You breathe in, out, and you notice, for the first time in a long time, you are not rushing toward anything. The mind, once a battlefield, now feels like a vast field after rain, quiet, fresh, alive. You realize that peace is not found in escape, but in engagement. To be here, fully, completely, without reaching for what's gone, without fearing what's next. You whisper to yourself, "I am here." 3 words, but they anchor the soul like roots in the earth. You used to look for purpose in faraway places, in titles, in achievements, in the eyes of others. But meaning was never hidden in the distance. It was here, in the breath between thoughts, in the patience to endure, in the courage to begin again. You used to think the world owed you peace. Now you see, it was always a skill you had to learn. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind and not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." You repeat it softly, and something inside you aligns. You cannot stop the rain. You cannot stop the loss. You cannot control who leaves. But you can decide how you stand when it happens. You rise and move through your day with quiet purpose. The same struggles return, but they no longer consume you. You meet them like old teachers, not like enemies. Pain arrives. You nod to it. Disappointment knocks. You let it in, listen, and let it leave. You are no longer a prisoner of reaction. You are the witness, the observer, the calm at the center of chaos. You begin to understand that most of life is not suffering itself. It's the resistance to it. And when you stop resisting, when you allow life to move as it must, you find serenity in the flow, like a river that bends without breaking, like the wind that yields but never dies. Seneca once wrote, "To bear trials with a calm mind robs misfortune of its strength." And you see it now. Calmness is not weakness. It is control, the highest form of power. You walk through crowds and see how everyone is searching. For happiness, for meaning, for love. But few are searching within. Few stop long enough to ask, "What kind of soul am I becoming?" You used to chase attention. Now you chase depth. You used to fill silence. Now you protect it. You used to seek validation. Now you seek truth. And truth, though quiet, never lies. You understand that the greatest journey is not across oceans or mountains. It's inward, to face the parts of yourself you once ran from, to forgive them, to transform them into strength. The night deepens. You walk through it alone, but not lonely. You've made peace with solitude. It no longer feels like emptiness. It feels like space. Space to breathe, space to think, space to be. You think of all the versions of yourself you've been. The one who tried too hard, the one who gave too much, the one who broke. You thank them. They were the bridges that led you here. You begin to trust time. You begin to trust silence. You begin to trust yourself. Seneca once wrote, "He who is brave is free." You finally understand. Freedom is not found in escape. It's found in acceptance. The mind that can stand still amidst chaos is the mind that cannot be conquered. And that is who you are becoming. You have learned that happiness is fragile, but peace is eternal. It doesn't depend on weather or people or fate. It lives quietly inside those who listen. You look around. Everything is still the same. The same street, the same sky, the same noise of the world. But it's you who's changed. You walk slower now. You speak with intention. You listen more. You need less. You no longer seek meaning in everything. You create it in kindness, in patience, in how you carry your pain. You've learned that mastery is not domination. It's harmony. With yourself, with fate, with the moment that is now. And you whisper to yourself, a quiet vow. No matter what happens, I will remain steady, like the mountain in the storm, like the flame that does not fear the dark, because the world will test you again. It always will. There will be loss. There will be uncertainty. There will be moments you forget this calm, but you will return. You will remember that you are not your thoughts. You are not your past. You are not the pain you endured. You are the awareness that survived it. The Stoics called it ataraxia, tranquil stillness of the soul. Not the absence of motion, but the mastery of response. You have reached the edge of despair before and found wisdom there. Now you walk back with gentler eyes. Every human you meet is fighting a battle you cannot see. So you move through the world softly, not weaker, but wiser. You understand now. The greatest strength is not in conquering others, but in governing yourself. The dawn begins again. You stand in its light, quietly, without demand. And for the first time, you feel whole. Not because everything is perfect, but because you no longer need it to be. Epictetus whispers across centuries, no man is free who is not master of himself. You smile, because freedom was never out there. It was always within. The day unfolds. You move through it, with the same steady breath, the same quiet knowing. Whatever happens, joy, pain, chaos, calm, you are ready. Because you have learned the art of stillness, the courage of acceptance, the strength of peace, and when the world falls silent again tonight, you will not be afraid of the dark. You will know. It was never darkness at all, only the space where you finally met yourself. You learn to walk with pain beside you, not behind you. You learn to love without fear, to lose without despair, to live without needing everything to make sense. You start to notice small things, the warmth of sunlight on tired skin, the rhythm of your own heart, the silence between words. These things you once overlooked are now your teachers. They remind you that peace is not something you find. It's something you create. You have carried so much weight, expectations, regret, guilt, the ghosts of what could have been. But the past is gone. The only thing that still exists is the story you tell about it. Forgive yourself for not knowing better, for holding on too long, for chasing what was never meant for you. Forgiveness is freedom. It's not saying it was okay. It's saying, I release what no longer serves me. You rise again slowly, not with fire, but with quiet grace. Because strength does not always come from force. Sometimes it comes from softness. You start to see life as a river, ever flowing, ever changing. And you, a traveler learning to float. Marcus Aurelius said, let not your mind be a slave to what is not within your control. You repeat it like a prayer. You let it become part of your breath. Because so much of your suffering was never from what happened, but from wishing it were different. And the moment you stop wishing, you find peace. The world is still harsh, people still betray, dreams still crumble. But now you no longer shatter with them. You've become still water, reflective, unmoved, not cold, but deep. You realize the truth. Peace is not found in a perfect life. It's found in a disciplined mind. A mind that knows, no matter what comes, you remain whole. The sun sets and you watch it this time. You don't scroll. You don't rush. You just watch. The world continues, and for once you are part of it, not chasing it. You understand that existence itself is enough. You don't need to prove your worth to the world. You already belong here. And when fear whispers again, you meet it with calm eyes. Because fear is only the mind's shadow. It grows when you run from it. It fades when you face it. You wake up one morning, and the world feels heavier than before. The same walls, the same ceiling, but something has changed. It's not the world. It's you. There's a silence inside you that no noise can fill. A space that feels both infinite and suffocating. You've been running for so long. From pain, from doubt, from yourself. And now, there's nowhere left to run. You sit, you breathe, and for the first time, you feel the weight of your own existence. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Nowhere you can go is more peaceful, more free of interruptions, than your own soul." But you've never trusted that. You've never believed that stillness could be strength, that solitude could be sanctuary, that the storm inside you was not your enemy, but your teacher. You've been taught to chase success, validation, belonging, as if the meaning of life could be caught like a shadow. But no one told you that the shadow was cast by your own light. So here you are, at the edge of yourself. No applause, no audience, only breath, only thought, only the raw pulse of being alive. Pain visits again, not as punishment, but as reminder that you are still human, still capable of feeling, still capable of becoming. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." And you finally understand what he meant. Because pain, though cruel, is honest. It strips away illusions. It leaves only truth, the kind that burns but purifies. Every tear has carved wisdom into your face. Every silence has deepened your soul. You have been shaped not by ease, but by endurance. You begin to see that suffering is not chaos. It's instruction, a slow, wordless teaching that shows you who you truly are. When nothing is left to hide behind, you are not broken. You are being refined. Every crack is a doorway for the light to enter. Every scar, a map of survival. Epictetus said, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them." You hear it now, not as a philosophy, but as truth. Life has always been neutral. It was your fear that made it cruel, your resistance that made it unbearable. So you stop fighting. You let go. You stop demanding that the world be kind, and decide to be kind to yourself instead. There is power in surrender, not the surrender of defeat, but of acceptance, of saying, "I cannot control the storm, but I can be still within it." You remember the times you thought you'd never make it, the nights that swallowed you whole, the mornings that hurt to open your eyes. And yet here you are, still breathing, still standing, still searching. You begin to understand that resilience is not loud. It doesn't roar. It whispers. It breathes quietly in the background, while the world falls apart around you.